Mom charged me $1,300 for sharing a room, like I was her cash machine. So I left and saw their nice world fall apart. I'm 18. I finished high school last month. My life has been hard for years. Not abuse, but a slow pain that made me feel crazy. Let me tell you about my home. It's me, my mom and dad, and my two younger brothers. Michael is 14, and Oliver is 10. We live in a small house with 3 beds. My mom and dad bought it when they thought they would be a great pair, but that did not happen. But here is the bad part. Since I was 12, I was like a third parent. Each day, I got Michael and Oliver ready for school. I made their food. I drove them places. I picked them up. I helped with schoolwork. I made meals many times. I put Oliver to sleep. Weekends were worse. I watched the boys when my parents went out. I took them to sports, parties, and doctor visits. I did the wash. I cut the grass. I took out the trash. I cleaned the toilets. I shoveled snow in winter. I picked up leaves in fall. I did all the homework. My brothers did nothing because they were too small. But I did these jobs since I was young. My dad has a job in an office. It does not pay much. He is always worried about money, but he won't say they spend too much. My mom has not worked for 8 years. She says she stays home for the kids, but she wakes up late. I get the boys off to school first. She drinks coffee and watches TV until lunch. She eats with friends or shops. She watches more TV or naps. Then she acts like she works hard, but says she is tired. She has not washed clothes, cut grass, or cleaned deep in years. But she spends $200 on face creams. Then she says we have no money for food. She drives a nice car. She said she needed it for the kids. But I drive them in my old car. I bought my car with my own money from my job. She thinks she should have everything. She sits on the couch in nice clothes. She gets her nails done every 2 weeks. She gets her hair done each month. She shops online all the time. But then she worries about the power bill. She has not worked in 10 years. Her big choice each day is what TV show to watch. But I should thank her for all she did. So I finished school and got a full-time job. I work in a big store. It is not a great job. I load and unload trucks. I put things in order. I do hard work for 9 hours a day. But I get $15 each hour. I work 40 to 45 hours each week. I get about $1,800 each month after taxes. For the first time, I have real money. Not just $50 from watching kids, but real grown-up money. I save for school in August. I buy new clothes. I fix my car. I save some money for bad times. I felt good, like I was free. But when you have money at 18 and live at home, it causes trouble. Right away, my mom said mean things. She said it must be nice to have money to spend while living here for free. She said when she was my age, she gave her parents half her pay. She said some people do not say thanks for what they get. But I still did all the same work. I still got up early to get the boys ready for school. I still drove them places. I still did chores. I still helped with schoolwork. I still watched them for free on weekends. The only change is I have money now. So now I'm a user. My dad said things too. He said I make good money now. I should help pay for the house. He said in the real world I would pay rent and bills. He said my parents paid for me for 18 years, so maybe I should help pay for them now. That last one made me mad. I have paid for myself and done half their job since I was young. But I said nothing. I thought they would ask for a fair amount. The worst day came 6 weeks later. My mom came home with bags from a fancy store. She had a new bag, new shoes, and face creams that cost $300. That night, she told my dad she was worried about money. She said things were tight. I thought, if you are worried about money, do not spend a day of my pay on bags. She spent lots of money, then she said she had no money. It was crazy. Then they called a family talk. We all sat at the table. My parents looked very serious. My brothers didn't know why they were there. My mom talked about being a grown-up. She said in the real world, I would pay rent and bills. She said it was time I learned this. They let me live here for free for 18 years, but she forgot I worked for free for them. I nodded and thought, this is fair. Maybe they will want $300 to $400 a month. I would still have money for school and things I need. I thought we would talk about that much. Then my dad said the big news. He said I must pay $1,300 a month for my room, plus half of all the bills. I looked at him for 10 seconds. I thought I heard wrong. Then I laughed. It was so silly, it had to be a joke. I asked, $1,300 for what? My mom said, for your room. It's easy to see. I said, my room? You mean the small room I share with Michael? We have beds that stack. There is no space for both our dressers. She said, it is still a room. She looked pleased with herself. Then she said half the bills meant power, water, trash, internet, food, all of it. They said my part would be $400 to $500. So let me get this right. They want me to pay $1,300 for a room I share. I have no private space, plus $450 for bills. That is $1,750 each month. I only get $1,800. They wanted to leave me with $50 a month for gas, car costs, clothes, school money, and all I need. When I said that was all my money,
my mom smiled a mean smile. She said maybe I should work more hours or get a second job. She said, welcome to being a grown-up. Then I knew. They did not want to teach me. They saw me as their cash machine. They had money problems because they spent too much. They wanted their 18-year-old son to save them. I said I would think about it. I was too shocked to fight then. My dad said I had until the end of the month. Pay or find a new place to live. My mom said in a fake nice voice that I would not find a place cheaper. She said this was the best deal I would get. I took on that test. I spent the next 3 days looking for places to live near here. Do you know what $1,300 a month gets you here? Much more than a shared room at my parents' house. I found many places with one room for $1,200 to $1,400. They were nice places. They had new kitchens, washers, and parking. Some had pools or gyms. They were full homes with privacy and space. I also found places with 2 rooms for $1,400 to $1,600. If I had a roommate, I would pay $700 to $800 for my own room and bathroom. That is still much less than my parents wanted. But the more I looked, the more mad I got. Do you know what most people pay for a room in a shared house here? $400 to $600. My parents wanted me to pay more than twice that for a room I shared with my brother. I tried to talk to them one more time. I showed them what I found. I said their price was too high. I said I had helped the house for years. My dad just said, that is what we think is fair. Take it or leave it. My mom was mean. She said, if you were not so selfish, you would help your family. We have given up so much for you kids. Given up? The biggest thing you gave up in 5 years was picking which coffee shop to go to. I was done fighting. When I said I would look at other places, my mom laughed. She said, good luck. You will come back in a month. You will see how hard the real world is. You do not know how to care for yourself. Famous last words. Do you remember Marcus from my school? He was cool. He finished school 2 years before me. He played soccer. We were not best friends, but we were friends. We talked online. I saw he wrote a few months ago that he needed someone to share his home. I thought it was a small chance. It had been a long time, but I called him anyway. He said he had been looking for someone for 4 months. We met that weekend. He showed me the place. It was so big compared to my small house. It had 2 rooms, 2 bathrooms, a new kitchen with new things, a washer and dryer, a dish machine, air cooling, and a balcony that looked at a nice yard. The place had a gym and pool. It was in a safe area. It was close to my job and my school that starts in August. It was perfect. The rent was $1,100 total, so we each pay $550. Power and water cost $150 to $200 total, so we each pay $75 to $100. Internet was $60, so $30 each. So I would pay about $650 to $680 each month for all. Let me say that again. $650 to $680 each month for my own room, my own bathroom, a new kitchen and living room, use of the gym and pool, and freedom. That is much better than $1,750 to share a small room with my 14-year-old brother and follow my parents' rules. I asked when I could move in. Marcus said any time. He had a hard time paying all the rent alone. We shook hands. I gave him $550 for the first month. It was the best money I ever spent. When I got home, I told my parents I found a place. I would move out in 2 weeks. Their reactions were amazing. My dad's face turned red. He yelled that I was not thankful. He said I was not being good. He said I was leaving my family. He said I was being mean to people who helped me. But my mom just smiled a mean smile. She said, "You will be back in a month, dear. You do not know what you're doing. You can't even wash your own clothes. I have washed all the clothes for 3 years." My little brothers were the only ones who were truly sad. Oliver started to cry. He asked if I did not love them anymore. Michael was quiet, but I knew he was worried. I felt bad for them. They did nothing wrong in this mess. I took them to the side. I told them I was not moving far. I would see them a lot. I still loved them the same. But I would not let my parents use me anymore. My parents did not know what they would lose. They would lose more than rent money. They would lose their babysitter, driver, fixer, and cleaner all at once. Moving day was strange. Marcus came with his truck to help me move my things. I did not have much since I shared a room for so long. My parents just watched from the window. They looked at me like I was a bad person. They did not help carry anything. They did not say goodbye. When I put the last box in the truck, my mom came outside. She said, "Do not come crying to us when this fails. We will not let you come back." I said, "Do not worry. I will not need to." I drove away to start my new life. The first week I was gone, my home was a mess.
I did not know yet because my parents would not talk to me, but Michael sent me texts. What he said was funny. My mom forgot to pick up Oliver from school. The school called my dad at work. He had to leave early to get him. Oliver was one of the last kids there. He cried because he thought everyone forgot him. Michael missed his sports practice. No one drove him. My mom said she thought practice was on Thursday, but it has been on Tuesday all year. The trash was not taken out. It overflowed and smelled bad. When my dad asked my mom why she did not do it, she said, "That is not my job." My mom tried to wash clothes. She turned all my dad's white work shirts pink. She mixed colors and whites. She used hot water for everything. Michael had a math test. He did not study because no one helped him. He failed. His teacher sent a note home. She asked if everything was okay. My mom tried to cut the grass. She broke the mower. She hit a waterhead and bent the blade. The yard looked bad. The grass was cut at different heights. Oliver had a fit at bedtime. He was used to me reading to him and putting him to sleep. My mom tried, but he cried for 2 hours. He said he wanted me, but I was living my best life. Marcus and I had a good plan. We did not get in each other's way. He works at different times than me. We split the cost of food. We take turns cooking. The home stays clean. We are both grown-ups who take care of things. I have my own space. I have my own bathroom. For the first time in years, I have privacy and peace. I save more money than I thought I could. After rent and bills, I still have more than $1,100 each month. I save for school. I bought nice clothes. I started a savings account for bad times. But the best part is being free. I can come and go when I want. I can have friends over. I can sleep late on weekends. I can eat what I want when I want. No chores except cleaning my own mess. No watching kids. No taking care of anyone but me. It was all I dreamed of and more. About 2 weeks after I moved, Michael sent me texts. Things were even worse at home. My mom tried to make dinner. She burned it. The smoke alarm went off. My parents had a big fight. Oliver's teacher called. He falls asleep in class. My mom lets him stay up until 11 at night. She does not know how to get him to sleep. The washer made bad noises. Water was all over the floor. My dad could not fix it. Michael failed another math test. My mom said she would help him study, but she forgot. She went out with her friends. My dad had to leave work again to pick them up. My mom's car would not start. He was very mad. I felt bad for my brothers, but I also felt right. My parents were finally learning what it was like to parent their kids and run a home without their live-in helper. The big moment came 3 weeks after I moved. My dad called me at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. He tried to sound calm, but I could hear he was stressed and tired. He asked how my new place was. I said it was great. I said it was the best choice I ever made. He said maybe they were too harsh about the rent. He said he would lower it to $800. He said I would not have to pay as many bills. I almost laughed. 3 weeks ago, they wanted $1,750. They acted like they were helping me. Now they wanted to lower it to $800. That was still more than I pay now for a much better place. I thanked him for the offer, but I said I was happy where I was. I pay less and have my own space. Then he told me the real reason he called. He said family was important. The boys miss me. Oliver asked about me every day. That made me feel a little sad. I miss my brothers too. But he said things were hard without my help. My mom was struggling with everything. He could not keep leaving work for kid stuff. I said maybe mom could get a job. She could help pay for the house. She should not expect her 18-year-old son to do it. He was quiet. He said, "It is not that simple, son." But it seems simple to me. She has not worked for 8 years. He has had a hard time paying for the family. Maybe it is time she helped, instead of expecting me to. He said they would figure something out. He asked me to think about moving back. I said I would think about it, but I lied. Then I hung up. Over the next week, things got worse at home. Michael told me in texts almost every day. My mom tried to help Michael with math. She got upset. She started to cry. She said she didn't understand it. My dad came home. There was no food. My mom forgot to shop. He had to go out at 8 p.m. to buy food for their lunches. Oliver got in trouble at school. He didn't have a paper signed. My mom said she never saw it, but it was on the kitchen table for 3 days. The dish machine broke. There were dishes everywhere. My mom said she did not know how to fix it. My dad had no time. Michael had to walk home from sports practice. My mom fell asleep. She forgot to pick him up. His coach was not happy. Then my mom called me. This was a big deal. She had not talked to me since I moved out. Her voice was not like her normal voice. She sounded tired and sad. She asked how I was. I said great. She said maybe they could make a deal. I asked what kind of deal. She said I could pay $600 a month for my old room. She said they wouldn't expect me to do as many chores. $600 to share a room with Michael and follow their rules, or $650 for my own place. Plus, she said not as many chores. That means I would still have to do some parent work and housework. I told her I thanked her for the offer,
But I was happy where I was. Then she tried to make me feel guilty. She said, family is important. We need to stay together. She said, the boys need me there. I said, the boys need parents who actually parent them. Maybe if she got a job, my dad would not have all the money stress. Then they could both be better parents. She was quiet for a long time. Then her voice shook. She said she knew she was not perfect, but she was trying her best. Everything was so hard without my help. I told her I was 18 years old. I should not have had to raise my brothers and run the house. That was her job. She kept saying she knew, but they really needed me. Then she said she would pay me $300 a month to move back and help, so I would make money instead of paying rent. This was interesting. She offered to pay me $300 a month. That meant they thought my work was worth at least that much. But I was saving more than $1,000 a month now compared to what they first wanted. I pointed out that 3 weeks ago, they wanted me to pay $1,750 a month. Now they offered to pay me $300 to move back. That is a $2,000 change. I asked what changed. She said they did not know how much I helped. I said, you mean you did not know how much free work you got from your teenage son? She tried to say it was not like that. I told her it was exactly like that. They got used to having a live-in babysitter, cleaner, and driver. Now they struggle without that help. But instead of being real parents, they wanted me to come back and let them be lazy. She said that was not fair. I said, what is not fair is a grown woman who has not worked in 8 years. She expects her 18-year-old son to pay for the family. Maybe it is time she got a job and helped, instead of spending money on bags and nail care. She started to cry. She said she did not know what to do. She could not handle all of this alone. I told her to get help. Hire a babysitter. Get a cleaner. Get a job to pay for these things. Do what other adults do. Do not depend on your kids. When she said they could not pay for it, I said they cannot pay for it because they have spent too much for years. That is not my problem to fix. I hung up. I blocked her number. I was done with her tricks and guilt. A few days later, Michael texted me. Things were very bad at home. Mom and Dad had a big fight about money and everything wrong. Mom was crying. She said she did not know how to do anything. Dad said maybe she should get a job. She got very upset. He comes home angry every day. He has to leave work for them. His boss is getting mad. My mom tried to make dinner 3 times that week. She messed it up each time. They've been eating a lot of cereal. Oliver's grades are getting worse. No one helps him with homework. His teacher wants to meet with Mom and Dad, but my mom is scared. She does not know what to say. I felt bad for my brothers, but this was what my parents needed to feel. This was what happened because of their choices. The last thing happened a month after I moved. My dad called me.
This time, he did not hide that he was desperate. He told me they were struggling. They were really struggling. Mom could not handle everything. He missed too much work. The boys were doing bad in school. Everything was falling apart. He said they needed me to come home. He offered to pay me $500 a month plus pay all my costs, so I would live for free and make money. I asked what I would do. He said, just help like he used to. Get the boys ready for school, drive them places, help with homework, some housework, nothing too hard. So they wanted to pay me $500 a month to be a full-time babysitter, driver, teacher, and cleaner. For information, paid babysitters here make $15 to $20 an hour. If I worked 40 hours a week at $15 an hour, I would make $2,400 a month. They were offering me about 20% of what babysitters make. I told him it was a nice offer, but I was good where I was. He started to beg. He said Mom was having panic attacks. She did not know how to handle things. He couldn't keep missing work. He might lose his job. I said maybe Mom should get a job. He said she was not good at any job. She has not worked for too long. I told her she can start with a simple job and work up like others. McDonald's always needs workers. He said that is not realistic. I said what is not realistic is expecting your 18-year-old son to give up his freedom and future so his mom can keep not working. I'm not their fix for Mom not having a job. He said the boys need a stable home. I said then give it to them. Be parents.
Hire help if you need to. Figure it out like other families do. When he said they could not pay for help, I told him then Mom needs to get a job to pay for it. This is what adults do. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said in a sad voice that he never thought it would be this hard. I told him it was always this hard. I was just doing most of his work. He asked me to please think about it. They really needed me. I said I had thought about it. The answer was no. They made their choice. Now they have to live with it. I hung up. I felt good. For the first time in my life, I had the power. About 2 weeks later, my mom came to my home without telling me. Marcus answered the door. He came to get me. He said, "There is a woman here. She says she is your mom. She looks very upset." I went to the door. There she was. She looked terrible. Her hair was not washed. She had no makeup on. She wore sweatpants and an old shirt. This was a woman who always wore makeup and nice clothes. I went outside and closed the door. I asked what was wrong. She started to cry. She said everything was falling apart. She could not do this anymore. She did not know how to care for the boys alone or run the house. She was failing at everything. When I told her to get help or hire someone, she said they could not pay for it. Dad might lose his job, he missed too much work, the bills were adding up, Oliver's teacher wanted to meet about his bad grades, Michael failed 2 more tests, the washer was still broken, there was water damage in the laundry room now. I said, that sounds like a lot to handle. She agreed. She said that was why she needed me to come home. She would do anything. They would pay me $800 a month. I could have my own room. They would move Michael to the basement. No chores except helping the boys. She was begging me. I looked at this woman. 3 months ago, she called me selfish. She said I would come back begging. She felt she had the right to charge her 18-year-old son $1,750 a month for a shared room when she know that is all his money. She said they were just trying to teach me to be responsible. I said that was not true. They were trying to use me as their cash machine and unpaid worker. When I showed them I was serious and left, their whole plan fell apart. She cried harder. She said please she would change. She would get a job, she would do better, just come home and help them get back on track. I told her she had 8 years to get a job. She had 18 years to learn how to be a parent. She had many years to learn basic life skills. I would not give up my future so she could keep refusing to grow up. When she said Oliver and Michael needed me, I said they need parents who actually parent them. Maybe this crisis would finally make her become one. She said she didn't know how. I told her to learn, take parenting classes, get help, get a job, do what other adults do when they need to learn new skills. She said it was so hard. I said it was always hard. I was just making it easy for her by doing everything myself. She stood there crying for a few more minutes. Then she asked if that was really it. Was I really not coming back? I said I was really not coming back. She asked what she was supposed to do. I told her to figure it out. She is a grown adult. Act like one. She turned and walked back to her car. She looked completely defeated. I watched her drive away. I felt nothing. No guilt, no sadness, just no feeling at all. Michael sends me texts about how things are at home. It's been interesting to watch from far away. My mom finally got a job about 2 months after our talk. She works at a local store. She makes the lowest pay allowed. Michael says she hates it. She complains all the time about standing all day and dealing with customers.
She is bad at her job. She has been in trouble twice for being late. Michael texted me that Mom cried after her first week.
She said she did not know work was so hard. Dad told her to deal with it. This is what everyone else does. My dad has had to change his work schedule to help with the kids. His boss is not happy about it. But Michael says he has become a better parent because he has to. He has learned how to help with homework. He has started to cook simple meals. He is more part of their daily lives. Michael said Dad is actually not bad at parenting. He helped him study for his history test last week. Michael got a B+. That was the first time he passed a test in months. They hired a cleaner to come twice a month. They can barely pay for it, but they really need it. They also had to fix the washer for $800. They fixed the lawnmower for $200. They fixed the water damage for $1,500. All these costs they could have avoided if they had treated me fairly from the start. The boys are slowly getting used to having real parents instead of depending on their big brother for everything. Oliver had some hard weeks, but he is doing better now that my dad reads to him at bedtime. Michael's grades have gotten better since my dad started helping with homework. But here is the big thing. Even with my mom working, they still have money problems. It turns out that when you spend too much for years, one low-paying job does not fix everything. They have had to cut back on many things. No more fancy bags, nice dinners out, or expensive face creams for my mom. Michael told me that Mom keeps saying she misses the old days when things were easier. Dad told her those days were only easier because I was doing all the work. Last month, I got a text from a number I did not know. It was my mom. She was using a new phone because I still had her old number blocked. She said she knew I probably did not want to hear from her, but she wanted to say she was sorry. I was right about everything. She was a bad mother and used me. She did not expect me to forgive her, but she needed me to know that she now understood how wrong she was. I looked at that message for a long time. Part of me felt good. Finally, she said I was right all along. But mostly I felt sad about all the years we wasted with this bad relationship. I did not write back right away. I waited a few days. I thought about what I wanted to say, if anything. Finally, I texted back. I said I thanked her for the apology. I hoped she kept growing and became the parent Oliver and Michael deserved. She wrote back right away. She said she was trying. It was hard, but she was trying. She said she missed me. I told her I missed the mom I thought I had, too. We have not texted since then. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I do not need a relationship with her right now. Maybe someday in the future when she shows she can be a real adult and parent. But not now. I do see my brothers often now. I pick them up every other weekend. We hang out, we go to movies, we play video games, we get food. But it is different now. I am their big brother, not their third parent. I do not help with homework or solve their problems. I just spend good time with them. I let their real parents do the parenting. At first, Oliver kept asking me to come home. He asked why I couldn't just move back because they missed me so much. I sat with him and explained in a way he could understand. I said it was like how he felt when Billy took his toys at school. He had to learn to stand up for himself. Sometimes grown-ups have to stand up for themselves too, even with family. Michael understands more now that he is older. A few weeks ago, he told me he was proud of me. He said he was proud that I did not let them walk all over me. He wants to be like that when he is older. That meant more to me than any apology from my parents. But here's the best part of this whole story. That is why I had to share it. Last week, Michael told me that my parents are having such bad money problems that they might sell the house. They want to move to something smaller. This is the same house they wanted me to help pay for. Michael explained that Dad said they cannot pay for the house anymore. Mom's job pays so little. They had to pay for all the repairs. They're looking at apartments and smaller houses. The irony is perfect. They wanted me to pay $1,750 a month to help with their house payment. They couldn't really afford the house. When I said no and moved out, they lost that money. They also had to start paying for all the things I did for free. Now, they will probably end up in an apartment not much bigger than mine, but they will pay more for it. They waited until they were desperate. They did not make smart money choices from the start. And the best part? My mom asked Michael if he thought I would help them move when the time comes. He said, "Are you serious, Mom? After what you did to him, even your 14-year-old son has more sense than you parents do."